This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome to DevOps trainings with Career IT. Myself is Raghu, and I am here to deliver you the course of DevOps. And so, one request from my side: so people who are actually, uh, who are whoever is trying to talk, so please keep your mic in mute for a few minutes. I will try to deliver a few slides so that later on, if you have any questions, we can try to discuss those particular things so that we can just complete the session in time. Okay. So because most of the questions we'll try to answer during the session. Okay. So during the few slides which I'm going to deliver right now. All right. So I think we are good to start. It's already been 5 minutes. So once again, welcome to welcome to DevOps trainings with Career IT, and myself is Raghu, and I am the trainer for this particular course. And I have almost 10 years of experience, 10 plus years of experience, and I have almost 9 years of experience into so I into a part-time trainer, doing different types of trainings like classroom, corporate, online. Okay, currently majorly working on online trainings, and I have delivered more than 30 plus batches, especially on Linux. Even not even 30 plus, it is now reaching to 40 plus. So this batch is a 40th batch on DevOps. Okay, so and different batches so close to 90 plus batches on different technologies, majorly on Linux and shell scripting, middleware, Amazon Web Services, and currently now into only majorly into DevOps. Okay, so I'm working as a lead architect in one of the enterprise organization, and I have my prior experience with some of the uh, big product tools like a big product company like Oracle and critical company like JP Morgan. So my experience would definitely help you in giving you the knowledge on different questions what you have, or generally the discussions which we are going to talk about in the later sessions. Okay, and the agenda for this particular session is going to be um, pretty so straightforward, and 3 points, which is what is before DevOps. So every one of you here is here to talk about DevOps, but so we just need to understand what is there before DevOps. Okay, so would like to talk about that, and after that, so we'll be talking about what is DevOps and why DevOps, and after that, finally, we're going to discuss about the tools which we are going to discuss about. Okay, so this is what the agenda for this particular today's session. All right, and so let's get it started, and let's talk about most of the people today is aware of what is DevOps. Okay, so back in 4 or 5 years back, or 4 years back, when we started about this particular thinking about telling to the market what is DevOps, it has been difficult for us to so explain this particular concept. But right now I think most of you are aware, but let's try to understand in my point of view, or generally the market point of view, like what is DevOps. But before to understand, okay, so why DevOps? In software development lifecycle, so you have different lifecycle um, phases, and in those particular phases will be completed by using some methodologies. And such methodologies, there are different types of methodologies, like use methodology and they complete the product. So that is what they do. So using SDLC, or in SDLC, people used to develop the product, and that's what they do. Okay, so using different methodologies, like so you have waterfall model, you have V-shaped model, and evolutionary protocol, and spiral, agile methodology. So you have different types of methodologies which are available over or market, and people used to choose whatever their requirement. People used to choose whatever their requirement, and they choose that particular tool. See, I have especially given the tools actually on the right side because there is an intention on that. So it is nowhere related to our course, but so by seeing a tool you will understand. So every tool cannot be fit for every requirement, but generally so based on the requirement you choose a tool, right? So the same way, so even here, okay, so the methodologies were chosen based on their requirement. Okay, and earlier waterfall model used to be um, a more generic to be used with most of the requirements, and today it is agile methodology. So you are actually thinking about DevOps. That means that is due to agile methodology. Okay, so why, we'll talk about that later. But earlier it used to be waterfall model, and now agile model is what two major models in the market. Okay, there are others as well, but these two is what most of the companies would be preferring to use that. Okay, so there are there are certain advantages and disadvantages of waterfall model. The advantages are, you'll be very specific about your delivers, what you want to make it, and you make that particular one, and good for planning. And product planning is good, and your deliverables will be defined or delivered in time. Okay, so that is what the waterfall model tells you. And whereas in waterfall model there is no backstage. So that means in center, if you just try to see this diagram, and it is so step by step going down, and there is no backstage. You cannot go back. If you go back and again you're doing redoing everything. So that kind of approach you are having in waterfall model, and that particular kind of approach would make you expensive because you have to spend years to make this particular product, and end of the day you don't know whether the product is going to be successful or not. Okay, so that's where people not interested in using this particular kind of uh, old kind of tools. Now there used to be certain team actually which sits with which used to work with the developer who is working in waterfall model, and the different teams out there are build and release team, okay, QA team, middleware team, sysadmin team, database team, security team. Okay, so like these different teams are there, so who are going to deliver the product after the product made by the developer. Okay, developer makes the product, and these operations guy so going to take the product, like the build and release guy take the code and start compiling the code. If there are any issues, report back to the developer, and after the dev and QA dev is done, and then we are going to do some QA testing. So QA testing, and it happens a lot of cycles out there. They talk to the developer fix it again, again compile the code, and again okay, so do the testing and everything. And middleware, so middleware is really important. Middleware is really important when you have web applications. Okay, so today we are actually trying to offer most of the applications over the web, right? So that's where so people are moving into a trend of web application. This is not today's trend but old trend, but still okay, people are now trying to be more and more on web applications. Okay, and that is what we are calling it as a cloud. What is a cloud? A cloud is nothing but yeah, cloud is nothing but so consuming the service, and the application is going to be get consumed. All right, so that is how you have it. And um, whereas a whereas a middleware I mean to say, like whereas a sysadmin, a middleware admin, so yeah, I was talking about this web applications, right? And the middleware admin is the person who responsible for running that particular application up and running, I mean, which is deployed inside a application server. So let's say if it is a WebLogic or WebSphere or JBoss, Tomcat, okay, all these are application servers with respect to Java, and people are used to maintain these, and those team is called as a middleware team. And there is a sysadmin team as well. So I don't need to specify much, because sysadmin means that is the person or the team who is maintaining the systems, right? Servers. And without servers, any of their business will not run, and these guys are important, and every application is going to have database, and you should be having the database guys as well. So this is what earlier all these teams individually work and deliver the product to the customer. So this is what they were doing, individually working and delivering the product. Okay. And but today, the things are changing. And what things are changing, we are moving into agile methodology. In agile methodology, okay, so you are going to get a in agile methodology, you're going to get a product. So earlier with waterfall model, you're going to make you're going to get a product in a very long time, let's say, 18 months or 24 months, like that. Or at minimum, you can say at least like 1 year you have to work on the development in order to get that. But today, so that requirement is now not there, and it is agile methodology. In agile methodology, you might get the release in 1 day also, in 1 hour also, in 1 second also. Like companies like Netflix, so they do the deployments on an average of every deployment per second, a new deployment per second into their platform. So Netflix is a company, so like even Amazon does the same thing. Okay, so who has a huge number of requests? Who has huge number of requests is what okay, so what you need to um, understand. And okay, so in agile methodology, you're going to get that particular release even in 1 day. So usually 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks is the general planning. But in some certain times, okay, in between releases also, you need to make like for bug fixes and other things. Okay, so that is what we need to do. And after that, so so the companies are making the products using companies are making the products using agile methodology, and you're going to get the output of release of web applications every 2 weeks. In between the 2 weeks also, you will get in between 2 weeks also, you get sometimes bug fixes. You have to do it immediately. Whenever you have to do immediately, all these operations need to be followed. You need to have a build and release, you need to have QA, you need to have middleware team, deploying the application, and sysadmin teams and database teams, and even security is really important out there. Okay, so that's where so we need to discuss about the same kind of approach, or so companies started adopting the same kind of approach whatever they were using earlier in waterfall model, in agile methodology also. Waterfall model, you have certain operations team, and coming to the agile method also, so it is going to be, they're trying to adopt the same type of teams, and
Raghu?
so and so
Hello?
that is what the problem was coming up. Okay, what
Yeah,
all the
Raghu.
problems were coming? The problems were coming up is so using the same using the same teams. So Accenture as an organization, so they surveyed the companies with most of their clients on the market. So they came up with 3 points actually. One is more time is needed for operations team than your development team, is what is happening in the market. And most of the things are happening on manual efforts. A high proportion of production incidents are due to a manual release of software. So you are trying to release the softwares manually, and whereas different values between IT operations and IT IT development and operations have different ideology, and so they need to so they never used to work together. So that's what is a problem, is what Accenture have
Accenture.
found in the survey. Now, so um, what needs to be, okay, so found a solution over here. So then what the solution can be come out of over here is, so here clubbing all those particular things into a single team is first approach. Okay, so why you're having, see, IT operations and development is having different values. Even the operations itself is also having the different values, so sysadmin will say no to middleware guy will say some to okay sysadmin guy. It's always a conflict. Okay, if you have different teams, then always obviously the problem will come up. So because that there are different teams, the collaboration is not happening between them. Okay, so the testing guy is actually testing for so much time, and so he says that sysadmin is not providing me the server, or the environment, or he will say the middleware guy is not giving the steps, or he'll say something. All these nuisance will be there. Okay, so such kind of things will be avoided if you club all them into a single team. Now, if it is a single team, there is no pinpoint. You cannot pin to a person. You can pinpoint to a team, but ideally in companies, okay, you cannot pinpoint to a person that this person is not doing it, because you are even the responsible for that as well. Okay, so sitting in your team, you cannot say blame your team, right? So that's not gonna work. Okay, so that's where all these particular technologies earlier we had, like so sysadmin, middleware, DBAs, and QA team, and even build and release teams. All these teams are together, so merged as a single team now. You're going to work as a DevOps engineer, and you are being called as a DevOps engineer. It's a role. What you need to take care is take care of the operations of the take the operations of the development work, post development activities. Okay, is what your job is. That's your role. And so how you need to take care you need to take care in a very smooth manner. Okay, so that's what we need to talk about. And more efforts are actually being done, and more efforts are being because you're doing a manual releases. And that's where I choose we choose in DevOps we choose tools to do that. In DevOps we choose tools to do that particular avoiding of manual efforts by using some of the tools. We do automation. So automation is a very key factor, okay, for this particular DevOps engineer. And the next thing is more time typically spent for okay, so by operations team. And now because you are having different teams you have out there, so there's a lot of collaboration gap, and ideally it used to take a different okay ideally it is going to take a definitely more time. Now if you keep everything in single team, so definitely it's going to be reduced, that particular what of the collaboration time is gone, and you will be doing it. And even you're using automation. So earlier people used to do manual efforts, and now you're using tools. All these particular approaches will lead into delivering the applications faster, delivering the applications a little bit faster. So that is what the advantage of agile methodology, and hence a DevOps engineer came into existence. Okay, so earlier, so the cycle used to happen, once in a month or 2 months after, after a product starts stabilizing. So once in a month or 2 months you will get it, and every team will take weeks to complete it. But in agile methodology, so a small change also get should release to the customer. Okay, so you see, have you ever observed? Okay, so your mobile applications, right? So every day, we are going to get every alternate day you are going to get almost every alternate day you're going to get, not alternate days, probably every day you're going to get an application update. Definitely it will show you that these many applications are available for update. So why are we getting so many updates? Okay, on an average if you're running so 50 applications, so definitely end of the day you'll get every day 5 mobile applications are showing you an update. Okay, why are you getting so many? Because small changes will come as a releases to the end customer. Okay, the same thing happens in enterprise as well, and which is agile methodology. One of the best example in agile methodology is WhatsApp. Okay, so you take WhatsApp. WhatsApp you have a basic feature in WhatsApp is you want to send out a message over data. You want to send the message over data is what the WhatsApp idea was. Okay, and after that it led into different features. They added image support, video support, contacts, maps, live maps. Okay, so ticks, blue ticks. Okay, and yeah, so whatever it is, so it's a lot of features they have, and even some more features coming up. Okay, all these things So the development is never going to stop. Any idea they come into and they can align it to the business, they can put it as a feature and they can release it. Okay, so that is how companies are now. So taking a small idea, starting with a small idea, and they are building on top of that each and every day, and that's where so many products has been evolved. And yeah, so we are actually running in agile world now. On that particular perspective, so if you try to understand what is DevOps, so this is a statement according to Amazon. This is a statement from AWS website. So DevOps is a combination of cultural philosophies, practices, and tools. Tools is important you need to understand, and tools that increases the organization's ability to deliver the applications and services at high velocity, and services at a very very high velocity. Okay, that's what is the intention of DevOps. So cultural, so DevOps is a combination of cultural philosophies that you have to own the problem, kind of thing. So whenever you are into agile, you have to adopt few cultures. Okay, and you have to own the problem, you have to resolve the problem, you have to stand out of the saying that there is a problem, all these things. You have to change that. So previously you used to pinpoint this is not my work, but you're not going to do that now. So why? Because yeah, so you have to do that. So earlier someone used to assign you to do some work. Now you have to own the work, right? No one is going to assign you the work in agile. You have to go there and grab your work. That's what is agile. So they are going to expect you. And best practices, by the way, so there are certain practices like GitOps. Okay, so there are some practices like developer centric, and so these practices will help in delivering the applications in more and more and more better way. Okay, we'll talk about those particular practices as well. And so finally the tools, basically DevOps is all about tools. You see a lot of a lot of tools inside your syllabus, right? You take mine or anyone, it's generally the tools based approach. Okay, so because it delivers use the capability to deliver the application in higher velocity. Okay, so that is what is DevOps is. And coming to the roles and responsibilities of a DevOps engineer, try to understand the roles and responsibilities. You already understood what is DevOps, so that's a role. Actually, we're talking about DevOps is not a technology. DevOps is a role. Earlier, I used to be okay. We used to call it as SysOps. That means we used to take care of system-related activities. Okay, and earlier used to be so SecOps, security-related operations. Now what you're doing is DevOps and development related operations. That's all, nothing more than that. And and some people think about a DevOps engineer is a middle person between a developer and the operations team. And it is also a kind of true, but not 100%. So DevOps means after development, so the whole and soul work you are going to take care, and that is what the DevOps guy. But in certain companies, okay, so like enterprise companies you take, they won't put responsibility on everything on one single team. So they usually will be having multiple teams, and they usually will be having. Hey, someone is unmuted actually. Can you please mute what organizers are doing? Lakshmi or Vijay, can you please mute? It's been there from pretty long time. Someone is unmuted. Okay, still there. Lakshmi or Vijay, are you there? It's causing a lot of noise. Please,
Hello.
everyone, if you are unmuted, can you please mute yourself, please?
Yeah, Raghu, your voice is not audible clearly. Could you please adjust your mic?
I think let's others also confirm. Like, can
Yeah,
anyone
Raghu,
other?
I have muted, but again they are unmuting. Wait, should
You
we
have
wait?
to mute it.
Mute all then.
Uh, like, can someone can confirm? Um
Raghu, your voice is damn good. Go ahead, please.
yeah, yeah, I think so because it is showing me good as well. Thank you very much. Yeah, so please hold for a few more minutes if you have any queries. Uh, okay, if it is technical issues, just contact the organizers. Apart from that, after a few minutes we'll take the queries. Okay, yeah. So coming back to the point, I was talking about. I was I was talking about the roles and responsibilities, and before to that I was talking about, yeah, so DevOps is all about a role, right? And DevOps is all about a role, and so here you're going to take care of end-to-end operations after the development. Okay, so that is what your job is. So what in general you're going to do is you have to deliver smooth operations. Okay, so you have to deliver very smooth operation. So that means like as I mentioned, so everything has to, so after the developer develops the codes, earlier there used to be a lot of teams which are working manually. Now you have to complete do that particular layer in an automated manner. So automation is a key factor for your smooth operations. Okay, so you have to do smooth operations, you have to deliver your application very smoother, and you have to, okay, so you have to, okay, so make your you have to make end-to-end automation. So basically, so automation is the complete key factor for your DevOps. Okay, so even while you're learning, okay, so let's take a tool something called as Jenkins. Okay, so Jenkins, I see most of the people, okay, so they just learn how to create Jenkins jobs on the UI and they say that, okay, so we know Jenkins. That is not how the complete world works. And they say that, let's take Amazon Web Services, and they go and create the server over the UI, and they say that, okay, so we know AWS. So no, that's not the way we run the operations in real time. So it's completely automated. It's completely automated. And so you need to know about how to automate end to end. Okay, that is what we need to take care. Just one second, guys. Someone is continuously unmuting. Let me take care of that. It's too much noise. Lakshmi, I'm trying to put in the chat. Can you please put me as, can you look into the chat once? Yeah. All right. Yeah. The roles and responsibilities are going to be so simple as we're talking about. So automation is the key factor, and so making our operations very smoother. Okay. So I am not expecting any. I'm not expecting any. Um, you know. Um, I mean, manual work actually, even our course is also going to be completely the same way. So we don't want to do the manual efforts while doing the deployments. At the end of the day, we want to do the deployments, and to do the deployment, whatever the automation we do require, we just take the complete layer into automation. So that's what we need to do. Okay, so that's what we can just take care. And the next one is going to be automation. So you need to think about, your mind has to be first thing you have to think about is automation. So if you see any gap of doing manual work, then do automation. That's all, as simple as that. Okay, and your infrastructure is a very key factor for that. So which means okay, so let's say, if you talk about so much automation, and let's say your infrastructure is damn to manual efforts, then that should not work that way. So you need to have automation right starting from the scratch, and that's where the cloud comes into picture. Okay, cloud provides you provisioning your infrastructure and even infrastructure components which are needed to run your infrastructure in an automated manner. Cloud means not only the public cloud like Amazon, like you can make it as an internal cloud, like, so either like it's like Red Hat cloud, which is OpenStack, or Microsoft cloud, which is Hyper-V. I mean to say, like, Azure. Now all these private clouds also can be so should be automated. So if you take so right from the scratch automation into infrastructure, then there should not be any problem. Okay, so that is how we are going to have our roles and responsibilities. Everything is automation, and right from that, after developer commits the code or gives the code, you have to give it to the customer, and customer access our application. And today we are offering most of the web based applications. Okay, see, earlier I used to have Microsoft Office. Okay, every one of you know the Microsoft Office, and how do you consume Microsoft Office? You need to buy that particular product, right? After buying the product, so you need to after buying the product, you need to go and so download that particular software. Or even if I take to the even more old days, so now there what you used to do is you used to um, we used to get the CD delivered to us. Okay, so when you buy a Microsoft Office, they used to ship a CD or DVD to us. Okay, so we put that particular one and we used to install it. But after that, after over a period of time, they started giving directly on the internet. Now you need to download. But now today, if you buy it, you really need to download? No, it's completely cloud-based application or web-based application, I can say. So there is Office 365, Office 365, and Office 365 has products of what you are looking for generally for Microsoft Office, and all these products are completely web-based applications. Completely web-based applications, and you over this particular browser only you can take care of everything. You no need to install anything in your local machine to do something, unless until you want to have some rich feature, I mean rich experience. You don't need to have you don't need to have or you don't need to buy sorry, you don't need to install anything inside your local system. So everything over cloud-based approach. I think at least some of you people might be aware of whoever is working. So if you'll be using Office 365, then Outlook, you probably can access it over the browser, right? So that is how, okay, the same other things are also. I think I have an account, so let me try to log in and see um, so how it is going to happen. I'm not sure, I don't remember my password probably. Uh, oh my god, they're sending an again. Okay, whatever it is, if I log in, so I usually get it over here. I don't want to waste time on that. So everything on web-based applications, you take Google, you take Facebook, okay, you take Amazon, all these are offering so a web-based application, just using it, and you're doing it. So the same approach is actually happening on enterprise as well. I might be talking about social applications and e-commerce applications because we generally know them. And apart from that, even you have enterprise applications, and even enterprise applications today, everyone is providing directly the web-based service. Okay, so that's where his market is leading from pretty long time, and so we are going in that area, and in that area, so we in that area, so we need infrastructure. Our job is going to be the end customer is going to access our application, the developer make the code, in between you are. Okay, so the DevOps engineer, the right way I can say is between developer and the customer, rather than saying the developer and operations engineer. I was mentioning that point as well. In certain enterprise companies, you will be having the developers and operations team, and you will be having a DevOps engineer in between. Okay, so yes, that is also true. We cannot say no, because that's companies are operating because they don't want to rely on single team probably, or the old way of old legacy applications probably, or old applications. And definitely newer general applications, you will not have that kind of thing. But old applications, so let's say in the process of migration, you might see some jobs like that, but that's not the ideal scope. There is a certain jobs called as SRE, so which does only the operations part. And here the DevOps guys just do only the related things, like so making the automation, but they don't run the automation. They'll be passed to the next operations team, which is a site reliability engineering or some other production operations team, and they do take care of that particular part. Okay, in that case, yes, that is a different kind of approach in certain teams. But here uh, so generally the DevOps engineer, you have to take care of writing, right from the developer gives the code and it goes to the end customer. You have to take care of complete automation of releasing it, plus you have to maintain the 100% of uptime. Plus that 100% uptime is usually maintained by some other teams in enterprise companies. Generally, usually there is an operations team, so that team also you have to be you will be responsible for that as a DevOps engineer. So you will be part of on calls, and if there are monitoring, if there is something goes down, you'll get an alert and you get a call and you have to resolve the issues. All this would be part of your job as well. Okay, but whatever it is, 100% uptime of your application plus smoother releases of your applications is what the scope of your job. Okay, that's what you do. Okay, and you work along with the developer. So usually for a DevOps engineer, if I talk about, there should not be any shifts kind of approach. Okay, so that is what is expected as a job in DevOps engineer. Okay, and the next thing which is going to be is infrastructure. I'm talking about, it has to start from right from the scratch, and infrastructure is so important. And that's where, so today if I talk about DevOps, without cloud you cannot say okay, I'm a DevOps guy. So even though there might be some jobs, but generally um, but generally um, you know um, yeah, so but generally today if I talk about, so it's going to be as a part of cloud as well. Okay, so yeah, so without cloud it is not a right DevOps today. Okay, and eventually the cloud and DevOps so become a part of together. So most of the people I see in the market is they just go and learn Amazon Web Service or Azure, and end of the day they'll be discouraged and saying that there are no jobs for them. Okay, because the cloud is only an entity which can add to your profile, but cloud cannot be a direct profile to be on the job perspective. There will be, might be on the 100%, one or two might be percent they might look only for the cloud expertise, but that's not how it have. Okay, so business should be there and the cloud should be adopted by the business. And DevOps is a area so where you need a cloud. So cloud is an add-on. I want to do something, so where I do matters. I do in my local data center, or cloud is what matters to me, right? So for me, cloud makes sense. But if you just do cloud, you don't know the business, so, and you know how to create a server, you don't know when to create a server. Okay, so that's where most of the people has been misleaded in the market, because they just hear about cloud and they talk about cloud, they just learn cloud, end of the day nothing. So yes, learning has to be there, but on the perspective you have to keep that particular learning is only to add on to your existing business. If you don't have any business and you're just doing cloud, that's no use at all, and that will not give you any job at all. Okay, so but DevOps or any other, so let's say developer, he's doing the developer development, and if he learned DevOps, sorry, cloud related, if he adopted cloud related technologies, then that is useful for his development. He cannot be a cloud engineer, no, he is a developer, he's using cloud and he's doing that particular job. So that's what they do. Okay, now you go for, and cloud services different different services, like database guy, earlier they used to do the database operations on local machines. They might go into cloud and they consume the cloud now, but only learning the cloud, no use again. Okay, so the same way, like you have gaming gamers, and you have IoT developers, you have AI related things, you have machine learning related services. Okay, you have yeah, so DevOps related services, all these, everyone whoever needs to have those services, they'll just adopt the services. Okay, so Amazon has 100 plus services. We don't need all those services. We don't need those particular services. Whatever we need, we just consume them and we run our business. Okay, so that is how the cloud and DevOps are, so are I mean to say, like so cloud is inevitable in DevOps. They cannot be avoided at all. Okay, so yeah. Now the next thing, okay, you need to understand is cloud computing is what is a cloud basically. Delivering everything as a service is what is a cloud over the web. Okay, that's what is the whole idea. And nothing should be nothing you should be having in your local environment, and they just do the things. And so cloud offer different services, and cloud offer different services like infrastructure services, PaaS services, SaaS services, and you have different advantages with the cloud as well. So cost wise, if you look for most of the reason, I mean, I can say 70-80% of the reason people look for into cloud is because of cost related things. Okay, so cost is going to cut over too much if you go for a cloud computing, and especially for the beginners or beginning of the product. See, agile methodology is all about so it's all started by small companies. Small companies cannot afford a waterfall model because years they have to invest on the development, and end of the day you're not sure about the outcome. And whereas agile methodology, so you can start your product, and within 3-4 months you would be really ready to market your profile, and I mean market your application. And after marketing your application, you'll come to know definitely so how you need to move on and things like that. In the meanwhile, so to deliver the application, I cannot buy 1 rack or 2 rack servers, just be hosting over the thinking about I might get customer or might not get customer, right? If it is a cloud, okay, so I'll start with one server. If I need 10 servers, I'll take 10 servers. I'll pay the bill only for 10 servers. I'm done. I don't need to have any capital investment on that particular part one, and as well as the running maintenance as well. Running maintenance is too costly, by the way. Okay, if you want to run a data center, you have to think about so many things. Okay, you need to have power supply 24 by 7. You need to have so what we call coolant, which is AC running 24 by 7, and you should be having network up and running, and so what you say, electricity, right? You need to have electricians, building maintenance system running 24 by 7. Okay, so infrastructure engineers running 24 by 7. Okay, and end of the day it is your headache if something goes wrong. So that's where a lot of operation cost will be reduced in cloud computing. That's where it saves a lot of amount. Okay, and that's how you have it. And any other feature you take it, okay, it's an advantage in the cloud. So if you talk about, so which cloud, by the way, according to public cloud adoption, so from Rackspace does survey on each and every year, and so AWS is still leading in the market. So probably so Azure also is competing more, but still AWS is leading in the market. And if you compare with any other cloud like Google Cloud, Azure, and IBM Cloud, so AWS is weighing more, and that's where we are actually trying to talk about AWS in our courses. Okay, and if you look into the job trends of the market, okay, so most of the profiles, they are definitely asking a cloud as a mandatory factor for your profiles. And even for a DevOps engineer, it is one of the highly paid profile in the market. So DevOps engineer salaries, if I just give DevOps engineer salaries, on an average of DevOps engineer salaries 133 grand. That's not a small amount, by the way. That's a huge amount. Okay, so the average salary of a US person per DevOps engineer is $133,000. Seriously, okay, too much amount. Okay, so on an average, so $10,000 per month. 10,000 is small. Okay, that's fine, but 10. I mean to say, like even if you add little, you'll get 11,000, I believe. So $10,000 on an average Okay, so you're earning almost like, if you convert into Indian rupees, it's not good thing to convert, but if you convert, it's huge of money, right? Right. Yes, DevOps is one of the highly paid one in the market. Okay, so that's what you need to keep in mind. So the only thing market is expecting is a skill, not not much anything from you. So they're just expecting some skill, and if you are a skilled guy, so then definitely you don't need to think about anything at all. Okay, so yeah. And what we are going to discuss as a tools perspective in our sessions is, so these are the things which we are going to talk about. We start our course as a for a layman, even for a person who don't know anything. So we can start our course, and we start with Linux visual scripting. Okay, so we start with, because every day you're going to deal with servers. At the servers, all the servers will run with Linux only. You will not see Unix, or you will not see Windows in the real-time world. In most of the real-time world, Unix is nowhere, forget about that. And Windows, most of the environment, Windows itself is coming into Linux, you know that. Okay, so Windows server operating system, they are already shipping, but Windows 10 is also recently Windows 10 I mean, I'm not talking anything on my understanding. I'm just talking about based on the market statistics only. So you see this Windows 10 Linux kernel is now available, or Windows is going to completely ship on Linux kernel. If you try to understand the other way, Microsoft will ship a full Linux kernel in Windows 10 in the upcoming release. This statement happened just a couple of months back. So Microsoft and Windows are such a rivals for a pretty long time, but for Windows, they don't have any option other than adopting Linux. Yes, that is because a containers demand in the market. Okay, so today Docker containers or any container technology which is leading the market, to run a container you require Linux, and even Windows has to adopt it because they have to sustain in the market, otherwise they cannot. Okay, so we start with Linux with shell scripting. Okay, and with some project as well. So there itself, we're going to talk about some project. Okay, and the next thing is going to be talking about some automation. So we'll talk about automating our efforts using configuration management tool, which is Ansible. Okay, and followed with Git repositories. How do you deal with Git repositories and Git branching, Git tagging, all those things. And Jenkins. So Jenkins is a major one. We talk about Jenkins pipelines more, not the UI. UI is only for our to just to verify the log and things like that. But the complete automation will. I want to create a job in Jenkins, it's a code. I want to run a job inside of Jenkins, it's a code. Okay, everything will be a code. Okay, and a lot of CI tools will be there: Maven, Gradle, Sonar, Nexus, SonarQube. We consume Selenium, we consume Python. Okay, we consume Jira. Lot of tools will be there in that particular area in the CI tools, so total CI tools. So I haven't mentioned few. Okay, so we consume a lot many tools actually over here. Okay, we'll try to integrate with Maven each and every tool, and we'll see the Maven big lifecycle phase. Okay, the complete CI activities. Okay, and that's what you have. And the next one is going to be Docker and Kubernetes. Okay, so we're going to talk about Docker and Kubernetes, but the very ending. But yeah, so but Docker and Kubernetes, and finally we're going to do the monitoring as well. We'll do the ELK monitoring to do the log aggregation. Let's say I have 100 servers running my application, and I want to see the 100 servers application log. All servers are running single application log, and it is, if the log coming to the log perspective, it is just the log of all the servers, okay, in one place. That's log aggregation. You want all the 100 servers log of single application into one place, so that's log aggregation we do. And New Relic monitoring, so which is a monitoring solution. So a monitoring solution which is offered by New Relic. And today I'm talking about everyone is entering into web-based applications, and New Relic is also a web-based monitoring, okay, a SaaS solution, and they provide some free of cost. We'll just consume that free and we'll take care of that. Okay, and on the cloud perspective, we talk about Amazon Web Services as well. And Amazon Web Services, we talk about different network components, compute components, storage components, dev components, and even miscellaneous tools. And all these components will be majorly taken care by Terraform. We will not do the things manually. We'll go the things through automated manner. Okay, so that's where Terraform is majorly will be consuming. Okay, And finally, before entering into query session, and one last thing, so what are the services which you are going to offer? And the services which you are going to offer is a lifetime recording. Okay, so lifetime recordings, you're going to get it, and that to be on YouTube, so that even if you have any uh, even if you have you know if you are in office, probably in office YouTubes are not generally blocked, so you can access those videos. Okay, and that's one of the advantage. And as well as we provide everything the online content. Okay, the content is completely online, so whatever is needed will be shared with you over the Git repositories. Okay, and finally, if you need any queries during your practice, during the session, you might not, I'm not expecting you to practice, but after the session you're going to watch the video, and during the watching the video you might practice, and you will be definitely having any queries. And for such queries, you can reach out to me directly over a Slack channel. Okay, my Slack channel looks like this. One second. So just, and my Slack channel looks like this. It is also web-based one. In companies also you can just do the practice. Okay, so you can directly talk to me. And so here is how it is. And usually people pose the question and I'll try to answer the question. Okay, so that is how you know. So we'll be discussing. So most of the companies are even using Slack, so at least definitely a few people might be aware of this already. Okay, so yeah, that is what you have. And if you have any questions, you can directly talk to me there. So, and who can, so before going to the queries to you, who can adopt this particular course? As I already mentioned, so who are in this particular area of operations can adopt this particular course. If you are a prior build and release guy, or a QA guy, or a middleware guy, or sysadmin guy, or database guy, you can adopt this particular course. Okay, so without any hesitations. Or if you are even a developer also, you can adopt this particular course, so that you can do your own operations in the development. Or if you want to be a DevOps guy also, you can give a try. Okay, so that is what you are going to who are the right persons. And apart from that, if you are so want to shift your career from so one technology to another technology also, you will give a try, you can give a try, but it might take you little more time. Okay, and even for freshers also, we are seeing some of the jobs recently, so people are interested in taking freshers as well. So if you are good at technology, so probably you would be in a position to apply to the jobs with some 0 to 3 year in that area. Yeah, so I think that's all from my side. If you have any questions, you can put a question in the chat, or else you can unmute yourself and you can talk. Okay, yeah. So how to get the access to the Slack? Once after you register with the course, you will be getting the access. We'll be sharing the access to you. Yeah. If anyone have any questions, you can unmute and ask. Yes, yes,
Yes.
Shaikh.
Hi.
Yeah, Ajaruddin, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi. This is. I actually have a query that I'm new to this, IT because I don't have any knowledge into IT. I just wanted to know more things.
Yeah, tell me.
Yes, I am a new. I'm a fresher for this IT related in softwares. I don't have any knowledge. I don't have any basic knowledge in this. I want to learn more and more things. So I want your help to make make me perfect. Can you?
I cannot make you perfect. Otherwise, I can make everyone perfect and take the money and go away. You have to do that. So it's about
Yes, I will.
practice.
But I
Yeah,
want to to be
yeah,
to be
yeah.
perfect.
So, yeah. So only thing you have to do is you have to practice well. So whatever is needed from my side on the course wise, I will give you. You don't need to worry on that particular part. So the only thing you need to worry about is the practice. Might be the persons who is coming from the technical background, take might able to do the practice. Let's say after delivering the session, they might complete it 3 hours of time. Probably you might put 5 hours of the time for a few days, and a few days while you understand, and after that it becomes as a normal thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm basically from management side, I'm not from engineering side, so that I don't have any knowledge, not even a basic knowledge also. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's no problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone? Any other questions?
So I have one question. Like, what is the
Yes, Suresh.
difference between Azure DevOps and AWS DevOps?
Okay, I think even someone also asked that question. So, what is the difference between AWS DevOps and Azure DevOps? What is the difference? Can't the name is defining you? What is the difference? So, what is the difference between Gmail and Yahoo Mail? Both are actually a mail service offered by different vendors. Now, so the same thing. Like, what is the difference between AWS and Azure? So, there are the two different vendors who is offering different cloud services. As simple as that. And whichever you choose which is suitable for your business will be choosing that particular one, as simple as that.
Okay, so for example, if I learn AWS DevOps, if I am getting job in Azure DevOps, is there any way that I can easily transfer myself and work on that, or is there any other things I need to learn to switch?
Ideally you'll not get a job like that. Okay, so now there is 0.01% chance, but still if you are saying AWS guy, so someone will not recruit you with an Azure expertise. Okay, and ideally you'll be applying for AWS only. Okay, and if apart from that, if you learn Azure, yes, that makes sense. Or using the knowledge of AWS, you can compare that particular knowledge and you can learn that. That's what I try to mention in a simple manner, right? So earlier I used to use Yahoo Mail, okay, back in 2000s, that time. Now all of a sudden Gmail came into existence. So then what we do is, I mean, basically a new tool came up or new thing came up. So can't you just go ahead and create a mail and send it out? You can, right? Because you already have an experience of sending an Yahoo mail. You take an e-commerce website. So let's say I know Amazon is one of the e-commerce websites. So let's say some other cart services came into existence. Can't you go and purchase it? Basically the UI, the options might change, but the fundamental business is still remain same, right? That is how even the cloud vendors as well. Okay, so yeah, if they look for expertise, you will not get that. Hypothetically you will not get that, but let's say assume if you have to get that, so then you have to use the knowledge of existing one and you have to learn others and you have to take care.
So actually, my question is like, so how hard it is, like, to switch from AWS to Azure? Is there more efforts we need to put from our side, or is there any easy way that we can switch, like, within a minimal time?
I mean, on the personal prospect you are using or the project prospect you are asking? Two things.
Personal prospect, yeah.
Personal, you have to learn. That's all, as simple as that. But project is going to be difficult because if you are relying on one cloud, and if you want to move to onto the other cloud, so you have to change a lot of the platform related code and all those things. Yes, that makes sense. But for individual you have to learn. That's all, as simple as that. Okay, so someone might feel difficult, someone might feel easy, or yeah, I mean, when it becomes easy is if you know something that you can say that it is easy. Okay, all you need to about that is learning. I don't think so. Okay, it is difficult unless until unless you don't know, it feels like a difficult. Once you know that, that is always simple.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Satish. Unable to hear you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Could
Mr.
you
Raghu, this is Reshmi. Oh, okay. Please go ahead.
What are the tools will be covered in this course? How many DevOps tools will be covered?
I showed in the tools list, right?
I missed that one.
Yeah, so just check with organizer. They'll send you the syllabus, so you can use
Okay,
that.
okay, sure.
Let me
Okay,
put
thank
it
you.
in the chat. Let me put it in the chat right away.
Already we shared content along with this demo link. Okay? You can find there itself. To all we send content also along with this demo link.
Yeah. Any other questions?
And one more thing, like at the end of the course, are we going to work on any live project or anything like that?
It's not end of the course. In the starting of the course only we'll start doing in the project,
Oh,
not the end of the course.
okay.
Yeah,
Perfect then. Yeah, thank you.
yeah, yeah. Yes, Suresh.
Yes, sir. Actually, as the earlier one said, I'm basically from management side. So, can I learn the course?
So can I is all the question itself is telling can I? It's you have to answer I. So I cannot answer. So that is your individual. You have to
No,
go with your.
I'm pretty much interested to learn this course, but the thing is that I do not have any programming language and like that. So that is the reason.
Yeah. So this course is designed for a layman. Okay. So think about nothing they know. We can start that course with that way. But
Okay,
as I mentioned, okay, so you have to practice more than a technical person. That's the only thing.
okay, fine.
Yeah. By the way, can I question is always has to point to you only, not to me. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
Hi Raghu, this is Lakshminarayan.
Yeah.
Myself Lakshman. I'm having 6 years of experience. From last 6 years, I'm working in Microsoft technologies. Which one is the best to migrate from my side? Is it AWS or Azure? I'm from purely into Windows. So Linux, if you want to go to with AWS, it could be a bit critical to me to migrate, right? So which one is the best to migrate? Whether it is AWS or Azure?
Like both are same. What is the difference? That's what I was trying to understand your point basically, So
Both are
once you want
both
to
are
come
same,
out,
both are same, but my perspective, Microsoft, I'm working pure onto Windows, right? So I don't
no,
have
no, no.
any idea on scripting Linux things, right?
No. Microsoft is not giving only the projects, keeping only, okay, Windows administrator will come. I have to make the product only for Windows administrator. No. Microsoft or Azure or Amazon AWS
Mhm.
is making the cloud services, keeping the business in mind. Both are same. Okay. You don't
Yeah,
see any
both are
difference. So
same,
coming,
but you used to say AWS is completely dealing with Linux servers, script
who
shelling,
told you?
everything, right?
Who told you Azure is completely dealing with Windows servers? Who told you? So
So that
go
that
to
is
their
that that
cloud.
is the no, that is the major
No, 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 no.
thing.
It is also running on Linux. It has to run on Linux. They have to run on Linux. No other option.
Even
Okay.
Azure also, right?
Obviously, it runs on Linux only. Okay. So that's what I mentioned. So they deliver the services keeping business in mind, not like so coming the so individual contributor coming in mind. They'll not make it. Both are same for you. Nothing difference. Even
Okay.
AWS is much better. AWS is much better than Azure. So even for you, because you're coming from so OS background, so AWS can be
Yes.
better than Azure.
Okay.
It's not that way. It's all about business. Okay. So I need some service, which one is offering a better service, will go with that. Okay. So let's say my company, I have a Walmart as a big customer. So what all the
Mhm.
products which we are delivering to the Walmart, so we cannot host it on Amazon because Walmart and Amazon are rivals in the e-commerce business. So our applications are few are running in Azure and few are running in Google Cloud. Okay, for
Okay.
other customers, we are running on Amazon Web Services. So it's all business decides what you have to go with. Okay, it's not like you individual contributor. Okay, think about where to go. No, that's not
Yes. Yes.
how it happens. And for you, both are 100% equal. There is no difference for you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
But at the end, we will think about the job only. So on which Azure or AWS, which one gets more in the
Look
market?
market
Like
statistics.
yeah, that's what I saw. Like, so it looks like Azure is leading now.
Azure is
Uh,
leading. No, you have to read the complete documentation. Azure is leading in terms of revenue, not in terms of customers. What is that meaning is Azure is having both private cloud and public cloud as well. So that means if you want to run your own internal data centers also, Azure is giving a software, and that's where more of the companies is, I mentioned that point even, so like private cloud like OpenStack or Azure. Okay, so that on that particular perspective, so they are actually leading, but on the public cloud perspective, Amazon is still leading. Not, I am not saying, okay, so we can just go and have a report looked into. So right scale, no, at least the last report 2018 report, if I just go for so cloud perspective, cloud report, this one. Let's come down one by one, we'll see. Yeah, so public cloud adoption of this one. Okay, so AWS versus Azure. So it is AWS is still leading. All right, so even in 2018 as well. Yes, after 3-4 years, you might see equal proportion in the terms of share in the market, in the terms of public cloud, AWS versus Azure. But it is not so easy to ship a product from one cloud to another cloud. It is highly impossible. So it takes a lot of time. And of course, the new customers, it's all about business. You need to think about simple business. And so AWS has more innovation than Azure. Okay, I can say my personal feeling, because I know AWS, I know Azure and Google Cloud, all three together working. So yeah, definitely 3-4 years, if you keep in mind, after 3-4 years you might see a equal proportion. Until then, yeah, it is still AWS is the one who is leading. So if Azure is the leading one, okay, so then Microsoft guy has to be the first richest person, or the organization wise, so it has to be the first in terms of revenue. But still Amazon is a leader, and he is the world's richest person now, right, individually. But still, company's business wise also, uh, AWS is more. With my experience, I'm telling you, okay. But on the market statistics also, you can compare. Yes, whatever you have seen is true, but that's a revenue of both combining public plus private. And the answer is true because most of the people are migrating from one cloud to another cloud, because AWS cost wise a little bit more than Azure, and Azure has customers from pretty long time, because Microsoft, so tools will be used by so many companies from pretty long time. So they definitely have customers to get into the market little bit easier for them. And yeah, competition is going on, but still, in my perspective, my personal perspective, it will take definitely 3 more years, definitely to have the equal proportion. Until then, Amazon Web Services lead. And of course, so you have a vision, so why not? So you learn Amazon Web Services right now, so practice AWS for a couple of months, understand AWS, then start adopting Azure as well. What's wrong? You have to update your you have to update your profile day by day. So that's what you have to take care personally. Yeah. And so I have a question on the chat. So how QA can handle on the DevOps role? Is QA guys are there in the market yet? There might be. So wherever they need a manual testing, but not automated one, right? So today there is market is driven with a TDD. Okay, test driven development. Okay, so the development is being made in such a way that the code can be tested itself. Okay, so by using unit test cases or APIs, so the code made by the developer can be tested by anyone. Okay, or they are making the testing code as well. So you don't see much testing jobs and in the profile in the market. And yeah, so we'll also try to see, okay, so a Python based approach of APIs, hitting the APIs and understand our application is working fine or not. And if it is working fine, we'll proceed. If not working, so we'll just report it back and say that, okay, yeah, so this is wrong. That is how even our course is also designed that way. Yeah, so there is no more testing. It's wherever the companies need a manual person to be tested, so manual jobs are still there, and that is also very less proportion. And QA is no more in the agile products basically, generally. Yeah.
So is that DevOps guy is going to take care of the QA tasks also? That's what it means, or is there anything
No,
I'm missing
test
there?
driven development, developer will take care of that. Yeah, today applications are completely API based applications, which doesn't really require a testing like earlier. Okay, so whatever the testing need to be done, and it can be done on development perspective. So somewhere, see, whenever a manager want to form a background of, so whenever a manager want to form a DevOps team, so probably let's say 3-4 engineers are needed. So then what these guys does is, so they'll take a person who is background from sysadmin into DevOps, and testing into DevOps, database into DevOps. Okay, they club together and work as a team. Okay, and that's how it is going to work. So there is nothing wrong. You can say that, okay, from testing I moved on to DevOps. That is the right profile, and people are there looking for such kind of profile. So I was a Linux admin and middleware admin. Okay, and moved into DevOps tools and working on DevOps tools. Okay, so I didn't born and brought up in DevOps. Okay, yes, that is how people form the team usually. Yeah, background. Yeah, any other questions?
Yeah, Raghu, Seshu here. So
Yeah.
for part of automation, do we need apart from shell anything?
So shell is what we are going to discuss. If you add Python to your profile, that is also good, but Python is not really needed in all the cases. That's okay. But apart from that, so from the tools perspective, whatever we are talking about, so Terraform is one, so which we are going to make it as a code, and so Ansible is one, which is a code, and Ansible related code. Jenkins is a one Jenkins related code, and what else you have, Kubernetes and Kubernetes related code, and Docker related code. All tools related prospective code, you are going to get it.
So is it a good idea to learn Python, or what do you suggest?
There is nothing wrong in adding something to your profile.
Okay.
Yeah, it weighs more. So
Right.
you add one by one component, it weighs more your resume. That's all.
That's true. Thanks.
Yeah. Any other questions?
I don't have any questions, but the only thing, so hope we will get jobs after the training. That's the only
See,
thing.
hope. So, see, first thing is, see, that's true question actually. So everyone we should be having some self reason in doing something, right? So so most of the people go in a wrong approach. For a job you're learning, that's ultimate goal. But the thing you have to do is you need to um, so on the technical prospect, if you look for, so if you learn for knowledge, then money will definitely follow, and even the career will follow. Okay, so that is my personal feeling, and to an extent I was successful, but not been 100%. Probably I might even lagged in somewhere, not sure, but personally I tried this. I never ran for money just followed me. Okay, and will definitely follow with anyone. Simply to say, if you are able to crush the interviewer, definitely he'll give you a job. And how can you crush is, it's all about the technical things.
Yeah, that's true. I totally agree with you.
Yeah. So all you need to do is see whatever is needed for this particular profile. I will try to put it into the classes, but what the only thing you need to do is you have to adopt things. Or let me tell you in one straightforward point: if you are able to deliver what I am delivering 100%, then you'll get a job, and that's not an easy task, by the way. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, so there's also one more question I missed. It might be in the chat, Suresh. So DevOps going to be one-time job, right? And so how the work in real time, whether one time for a project or something else. I told you an example, WhatsApp, right? So WhatsApp idea is only to deliver the uh, deliver the message over the data, and this job is done. That the WhatsApp business died or WhatsApp development team stopped? No. So they are going to adopt ideas, they'll include ideas, and so based on that they'll go. So you are into the market, so most of the time they'll ask for you the feedback. Most of the mobile applications, they ask you the feedback, because feedback is also important in agile methodology, in the agile diagram I have given over here. So if you see, so feedback is one of the important ones. So where is valuable product? No, feedback is not there, but generally it has to be some feedback also line mentioned over here. So which is okay, you gather the feedback from the customer, and accordingly so basically release the features. So that's how we take care. So yeah, so it will not, yeah, I mentioned feedback over here. So yes, so it's not going to be stops with a single idea. So how much uh, you know um, or let me tell you this way. So based on the business needs, you're going to add components and so develop that particular application. It's a never ending process. Agile itself, it's an infinite symbol, if you observe or not. So if you see the DevOps versus agile, it's an infinite symbol. It's a never ending process, by the way. Okay, the blue color is the development, they do the things, and the red color is what you do the things, and it is very, very continuous. It's never ending. Yeah.
Yeah, Raghu, sorry to interrupt you. Hi all, a small info from my end. The batch is starting from Monday only. Timings are from 6 to 7:30 a.m. IST, and the link will be changing from Monday. So if anyone is connected without getting registered, please leave your details in your chat so that I can contact you. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Nope, I don't have any questions, Mr. Raghu.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your, genuine, so the details and everything. So you have it seems like you have a lot of patience, and you are answering each and every question. So that helps, so the people who are going to learn, it really helps a lot. And so I just have what so the real time question, like, so once we complete this course, if we get a job, if we need any help, so if we got stuck somewhere, or so if we need any kind of help really bad, so is there any way that we can contact you or anybody from the career IT, so which
Slack.
we can get help? Yeah, Slack is the best way to contact. That's what you're
Right.
saying.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Anytime. Not only this is limited during the course, it is even after the course. Okay. So
Perfect.
people will, reach me even after the course. Technically, I'll always be there to help you if there are any gaps for you. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So final call. Anyone? Any other questions?
Yeah. Hi, Raghu.
Yeah.
Hi, Raghu. My name is Ramakrishna. Actually, I'm having 8 years of IT experience. Actually, I was into AX, then I switched to Linux. Now, in my company, actually, most of the guys switching to DevOps. So, actually, I don't have any development idea. So, is it required? Do I need to do any development job like writing the code or something?
So hopefully, if you are from
Development
Linux background, so you would be good at shell scripting, I believe. I was thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the same thing. Scripting, if you are aware, and the rest of the course is very simple for you. And for you, it is the right course. You don't have to worry about that.
Okay. 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 Thank you.
So there is a question in the chat. Is there any certifications that we need to? So certifications today, the recruitment is not happening based on the certifications. So frankly telling, the product-based companies really look for your expertise than your certifications. Okay, so certifications is good for marketing, but once you go into the market to your product, I mean, yourself marketing yourself, you go for the interview, and if you're not able to okay, deliver anything, so the certificate doesn't be useful. And coming back to the point, I think you might ask on a different concept, but I just want to mention this point. Certifications are really not needed. That's what I want to mention. And the second thing is DevOps doesn't have any certifications. It's not a technology. It's not owned by any person. It's a simple role name. We call it as a tester. So tester will be there in IT as well as non-IT companies as well. That's a simple terminology, right? So DevOps is a kind of thing. It's a role in the organizations, and you don't have any certifications. But generally, if you take Amazon, so if you take individual components, you have, let's say, Ansible you have certification, Jenkins you have certification, Kubernetes you have certification, Amazon you have certifications. You have to do individual certification. Rather than wasting your time, I would suggest learn something other thing. So today no one is expecting you become an SME. Okay, so earlier, see, most of the people who are coming, who are coming over here in these particular courses are, so 7 years, 680 years, so working on a single technology. And so, and they're seeing that there is no progress in their particular job, in their career, right? And they want to switch because the market is working in that way. Our market is moving in that way. So no one is expecting you to be an SME, a single or subject matter expert on single particular thing. So it's not working that way. Rather than that, if you know some in and out of another tool, that can really give you a job at some time. Okay, frankly saying. So that's where, rather than wasting the times on certification preparing, that's my personal opinion, by the way. It's up to you, because my personal experience was in my first company, when I joined as a fresher as a Linux administrator. So the persons who sit around me are certified guys. I'm the only person who doesn't have Red Hat certification. And so they used to show that they are certified and things like that. And my first manager clearly told that being a certification, I believe being a certification, I believe that you don't know anything. Okay, so, and that's where my personal has been inspired. And till today I don't have any certification at all. I don't hold a single certification at all, yet I'm the one of the highly paid profile in the market. Okay, and I'm being paid very high. Okay, so above the market standards, I've been paid all the time. Okay, so because I learned something else rather than wasting time going into internals is good. I'm not stopping you going into internals and learning the things. I'm telling you, wasting the time for preparing for certification. So preparing for certification, you always have a worry how to pass, and you always learn in that particular manner. That will not really help you. Our education system itself is wrong. So we work for money, we work for marks. No. So learn subject that definitely give you money. Okay, that's what my personal feeling. To market your profile, and if your company say that yes, we need it, do that. I'm not stopping you. But unless until don't really require, if you are able to crush the interviewer, you will definitely get the job even without the certification. I don't have a certification, by the way. Yeah, any other questions? Okay, all right. I think yeah, I'm done for the day. So probably if you have anything, so we can meet back on Monday. So I think Monday the link is going to change. Please contact Lakshmi or Vijaya so that they can help you on so getting the new links. And have a good weekend. Thank you, and see you on Monday. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good weekend, Raghu. So see you on Monday then. Thank you.